Good morning all. Today's topic of discussion is Application Specific Integrated Circuits Part 6. The objective of this lecture is to make the students familiarize with ASIC design layout preparation using the software tool like Microwind. So what is layout? The chips are specified with set of mask. The minimum dimensions of mask determine the transistor size and hence speed, cost and power. The feature size of this layout is F, which is the distance between source and drain. It is set by the minimum width of polysilicon and the feature size improves 30% every 3 years or so. Normalized for the feature size when describing the design rules. Express rules in terms of lambda, and this lambda is equal to F by 2, where F is the distance between source and drain. For example, if lambda is equal to 0.3 micrometer in a 0.6 micrometer process, so there are some specified design rules and we have to follow these rules while preparing the layouts for the different VLSI chips. So what should be the distance between the two metals, or what should be the minimum width of P plus and N plus diffusion? What should be the minimum gap between the two polysilicon layers? What should be the dimensions of the contacts or vias, then N-well? So that the statements which specifies these things are called as the design rules, or sometimes they are also called as lambda rules. So in the inverter layout, the transistor dimensions are specified as width upon length, that is also called as W by L ratio. The minimum size is 4 lambda by 2 lambda and sometimes it is also called as a 1 unit size. In a 0.6 micrometer process, this is 1.2 micrometer wide and 0.6 micrometer long. So this example layout for the inverter is drawn on the left hand side and the corresponding circuit diagram is shown on the right hand side. The inverter circuit consists of one P MOSFET and one N MOSFET, and generally the size of the P MOSFET is on an average twice the size of the N MOSFET, because this P MOSFET has to carry the load current. So the size is quite bigger, almost it is 2 or 2.5 times the size of the N MOSFET. Now as both the devices are to be fabricated on the same silicon wafer, the silicon wafer is considered as a P substrate, and over this P substrate we can put the N plus diffusions to prepare the N MOSFET easily. But for preparing the P MOSFETs also on the same P substrate, we have to follow the process of preparation of N-well, which is quite complicated process. So before fabricating the P MOSFETs on the same silicon wafer, we have to prepare the N-well structure, and then in that N-well structure the P plus diffusions are put to prepare the P MOSFETs, that is the PNP type of device. So how the layouts are prepared, which are the different rules. So for preparing these layouts, some backend tools are used, and these tools, they are having the inbuilt facility for checking the different rules of layouts. Like one is the DRC, that is design rule check, where all these lambda rules which just now we have seen in the last slide, those will be checked one by one. Then the ERC rules, that is the electrical rule check, they will be checked. And finally the LVS, that is the layout versus schematic, that checking will be done. And then that GDS2 file will be prepared, for which can be sent to the foundry for the final fabrication of the chip. So using these backend tools, how to prepare the layouts, that we are going to study in this particular lecture. Some of your lab experiments are also based on this particular tool, that is the preparation of the layouts for the different combinational and sequential circuits. So the software, the backend tool which we will be using for preparation of layouts is Microwind. So this is the window which gives the idea regarding the Microwind environment. So for this Microwind environment, we can see the different menu commands are available, and here on the screen we can see some dot pattern. So one dot on the grid is equal to 5 lambda, and which is equal to 0.3 micrometers, that is specified over here. So while preparing the layouts, the first job is to select the foundry file, or which is also called as the technology file, from which we can get the data regarding the timing constraints, then the lambda rules, DRC, ERC, the whole data is available for a particular technology. Then we have some editing icons over here. Then this green triangle is for access to simulation. Then here we can see that 3D, 2D or 3D views of the layout can be seen with the help of this facility. This dotted pattern area is called as the work area, and then here we can, on this down ribbon, we can see something is written regarding CMOS 0.12 micrometer 6 metal, then 1.2 volt, 2.5 volt. So this is nothing but the current technology that we will be using for preparing the layouts. And now on this right hand side, you can see one palette box is available. See, this palette box includes the different palettes for different layers. The important layers which are required for preparing the layouts are the N-veil, then the N plus diffusion, green color, then P plus diffusion, some yellowish green color, then we have a polysilicon, that is in red color, then contacts, then metal 1, metal 2, metal 3, metal 4, metal 5, metal 6, and here we have some library of components. So the layout library is available. Like if I will choose a P MOSFET from here, directly the layout for P MOSFET is available, which is pre-designed and pre-tested. So from that library I can choose a particular component and I can take it for the layout preparation. Then once the layouts will be prepared, we can go for the simulation purpose. Simulation properties can be changed from here, and we can assign the particular input to the layout with the help of these pulses. We can apply the VDD and ground connections for the layouts. So from this palette, like this, we can choose the library components. We can have the different palettes for preparation of different layers. We can apply the inputs. We can check the outputs. So that is about the Microwind environment. Now I'll go for the different design rules. So first rule is for the N-veil, and minimum width is 12 lambda. Between the wells it should be again 12 lambda, and the minimum well area should be 144 lambda square. This is the rule for n well preparation. Now the next rule is for the diffusion. Minimum n plus and p plus diffusion width should be 4 lambda. Now while checking these rules, you will understand the importance of this dotted square structure, because these dots are there for just for the from which we can directly measure the lambda parameters for this particular layout. So this particular structure, which is a dotted rectangle, closed rectangle, that is for the n well, and these are the P plus and N plus diffusion. N plus diffusion green color, and then this yellowish green is for the P plus diffusion. The next rule is between two P plus and N plus diffusions there should be at least 4 lambda distance. Here you can see this is a rule number, that is R202. That is a rule number. Then comes the R203, extra N well after P plus diffusion, that should be 6 lambda. Then the next rule, between N plus diffusion and N well there should be 6 lambda gap. Then rule 210, minimum diffusion area should be 16 lambda square. 4 by 4. Then the polysilicon width. Polysilicon layer is green color. So generally this polysilicon we are putting on a diffusion. It may be a P plus diffusion or a N plus diffusion. So width of this polysilicon should be at least 2 lambda. That is rule 301. Now rule 302, polysilicon gate on the diffusion, the width should be 2 lambda. Then extra polysilicon surrounding the diffusion. So this is your diffusion, and surrounding the diffusion this polysilicon width should be at least 3 lambda. Then between two polysilicon boxes, the rule 304 is there, we should have at least 3 lambda gap. Then diffusion after the polysilicon, it is 4 lambda. Then there are some rules regarding the contacts. The contact width is 2 lambda. So when we will prepare the layouts, the different layers will be put on the substrate. So the screen, that black screen indicates the substrate, that is the P plus diffusion, P substrate area, over which we can put the different regions like the P plus diffusion, N plus diffusion, polysilicon. But to have the connection between these layers, we need the contacts. So when we will put some contact on two layers, there will be interconnection between the two layers. So for this contact, it may be a polysilicon contact or a metal contact. The rule is the width should be at least 2 lambda. Then the extra polysilicon surrounding the contact should be 1 lambda. The extra metal surrounding the contact should be 1 lambda, that is rule 405. The extra diffusion surrounding the contact should be 1 lambda. So when we will put this contact, this white color, so when this will be put on a diffusion, then the surrounding region should have at least 1 lambda width. Then rule 501, between two metals the width should be at least 4 lambda. Between the metal area, minimum metal area should be 16 lambda square. And now we'll go for the actual preparation of layout. So the step 1 is select the foundry. So go into the file menu, and in that file menu we have the different options like new, open, insert layout, convert into, save layout, save as, and then select foundry. So we have to select this select foundry option, and then this window will appear in which you can see the rules folder is there, and in that rules we have the different technology files like CMOS 035, CMOS 45N. So that indicates or CMOS 90N. So CMOS 90 nanometer technology, that is the foundry file which is selected. So we'll just click on that and then we'll say open. Then the next job is to start the preparation of layout. So as I told earlier, the screen indicates it is a substrate which is a p-type substrate, and over which now we have to start preparing the MOSFETs, that is the P MOSFET and N MOSFET. So one by one we'll prepare the MOSFET layouts. So on the right hand side in that palette you can see the different palettes are provided, or different colors are provided for the different types of regions. So for preparation of the N MOSFET, as P substrate is readily available, we will put the N plus diffusion. This N plus diffusion is nothing but a green color, and that green color rectangular block is plotted over here, and over which we have to put the polysilicon. So when the diffusion and over that a polysilicon is there, that indicates there is a MOSFET. So now we have this N plus diffusion, then the polysilicon, that is the gate, and again one more N plus diffusion, and this structure is created on a substrate which is a P substrate. So now here is the formation of one N MOSFET. Now as I told you, as the layers are put over the other layers, there is no direct contact till we put some, there is no connection till we put a contact over there. So we have a P substrate and over which we have put the N plus diffusion, but there is no contact between the P substrate and the N plus diffusion till we put a contact over there. So this white color square box is nothing but a contact. So that is put on both the sides to have the connection between this P substrate and the N plus diffusion. So this completes the NMOS design. Now we should go for the PMOS design, and the first need is to construct the N well, because on the same substrate we want to prepare both the devices. So for the P MOSFET, as we require to prepare the structure of the PNP type, so that N well should be created first. So the next step is create N well. So for N well, you can see in the palettes, the N well layer palette is also provided, the last one. So just click over here and drag that N well on the P substrate. Now in this N well we can put the next job is to put the P plus diffusions. So from the palette select that P plus diffusion and put a rectangle, and now on this rectangle we have to put the polysilicon, that red palette. So we have N well over which we have a P plus diffusion and then a polysilicon, and now on both the sides of this polysilicon on the diffusion P plus diffusion layers we have to put the contact, so that there will be a connection made between the N well and the P plus diffusion. So the contacts are put, that is the next step, and now finally we are ready with the PMOS. So PMOS is now completed, and now the interconnection at PMOS and CMOS is to be completed, so that we will get a inverter. So connect the source of PMOS to VDD and source of NMOS to VSS. So we have to apply the power connections to the device. So always the upper device, which is a PMOS, the source is connected to VDD and the source of the NMOS is connected to VSS, that is ground. And then short the drain of both the P and N MOSFET. Okay, so we have this device as a N MOSFET. So this is a substrate, P substrate, over which we put the N plus diffusion, which is a green color, and then the contacts are put to have the interconnection. We have a polysilicon. This is another device, N-well structure, over which we have this P plus diffusion and a polysilicon. So the gate of both the devices should be shorted. That is, the polysilicon is just you can see it is connected to each other, and then this particular lead is taken outside. So this is the gate terminal of both the devices, and it is shorted, and the input is applied to that shorted gate. So here to this pink color we can apply the input. Now the outputs, not output, but the drain terminals of both the devices should also be shorted, and that is done with the help of metal. So this is drain of a P MOSFET, and this is a drain of a N MOSFET. It is shorted, and then here the input is applied. To the source of the P MOSFET we have to connect VDD, and to the source of N MOSFET we have to connect VSS. And these connections are done with the help of metal palette, which is blue in color. And likewise the inverter design is now completed. So the next step is to check the DRC, that is the design rule check. So here in this window you can see there is an option for this DRC. We have to just click over here, and then it will check the lambda rules are followed or not while preparing this particular layout. And now once this will be done, you can see in the red window over here, no design rule errors. Congratulations. And then now all the rules are followed, your layout is correct, and then you can go for the simulation purpose. So next step will be simulation. So we will assign the source, assign the signal, that is the clock, to the gate terminal, and add a visible node at the output, so that we can observe the output with the help of that node, and apply clock to the gate terminal. So now we have applied the input A to this gate terminal, which is shorted, and then the output is taken, which is the Y output. And now we can run the simulation. So if we run the simulation, this window will appear, and now you can see the results of this inverter. This green color waveform is nothing but the input, that is A, which we have applied to the gate terminals of both the devices, and then we can see the output, that is drawn with the red color, and both the waveforms are exactly inverted because it is an inverter circuit. So when input will be low, output will be logic high, and when output will be logic high, input will be logic high, output will be logic low, and like this the functionality of the layout can be checked. This is a voltage transfer characteristic for the inverter. So on x-axis we have the input, and on y-axis we have the corresponding output. So when the input will be logic low, that is 0 volts, at that time output will be logic high, and vice versa. And this transition from high to low is exactly at the center of this line, so that we will have a symmetrical characteristic for this particular inverter. So the summary is, MOS transistors are stacked of gate, oxide and silicon, and can be viewed as electrically controlled switches. Build logic gates out of switches, and draw the mask to specify the layouts of the transistor. So now you know everything necessary to start designing the schematics and the layouts for a simple chip. So now you have become the VLSI chip designer. Thank you.